All right. Hi, friends. I am maybe sort of getting the hang of the technology thing. I don't know. We'll see. So first, we're going to talk about the Bandolier Bag today. And I am going to actually be recording these as separate pieces and uploading them that way because I think it'll be a little bit easier for you guys to find exactly the lectures you're looking for. Today we are in my messy but sunny studio, and so just excuse the mess. All right, so the Bandolier Bag is a Native American work from the Lenape. Lenape is a people group that is part of the Eastern Woodlands people group, 1850. So remember, as you're thinking about dates, consider condition. And as you look at this object, you can see that it's in really good condition, fairly good condition. And so you know, right, that it has to be 1800s or 1900s. It can't be older than that. So let that be a clue for you guys. This is beadwork on leather. And the title Bandolier Bag tells you that it is a bag. This, just like a crown, just like a headdress, a cape, anything like that is going to be part of a costume. This is not a daily bag that you would just pick it up and grab it and go, work in the field or go visit a store or a friend's house. This is part of a costume. And so we'll talk about that in specifics. Here's a closer up look, and I want you guys to see there's so many beautiful details on this bag, a lot of vibrant colors. And so these tiny, like on this blue shape right here, there's these tiny little, they look like lines. Those are actually what we call seed beads. And so seed beads are teeny tiny little beads that are strung together on line and then sewn onto this leather facing. You can see bits of fabric that kind of come down on these straps. The things at the bottom are fabric and ribbon, okay, fabric and ribbon. And so this is going to indicate that this object is what we call post-contact. So the seed beads, the tiny little glass beads, and the ribbon tell us this is a post-contact object. So essentially that means that we're talking about things that are machine-made, likely gotten through trade, not indigenous American, for them to have glass beads and ribbon. Those are going to be things that would be machine-made. Manufactured. It's not quite symmetrical. You can see there's a little bit different design on one side than the other. There's just a really fun kind of band of metal cones that runs across the bottom of the opening there. Okay, so that top part's the opening. That big piece going across the top is the strap. Right, so it has this big flat strap that will go around the shoulder. And then those little funnels of metal are holding thread that's coming down. So if you've not picked up or held a beaded object, right, like a beaded dress or a beaded pillow, a beaded bag, they're very heavy. Okay, so this is going to be an object that has a lot of weight. The color, the details, the precision indicate that this is something that's going to belong to someone who is of significance. Context. All right, so we said 1850s for the date. One of the things to consider is the Indian Removal Act of 1830. This, of course, is going to be an unfortunate policy by the United States government that is going to be moving people groups, indigenous people groups across America. And so part of that contact that they made is going to result in goods like these seed beads, these glass beads, silk ribbon, the pouch, right? Because this is a bag, so it's a pouch, so it has a front and a back, two simple rectangles, and then it has that band that goes across the top. It is possible, just so you're aware with content, it is possible that this was originally connected to a different, this band, right, was originally connected to a different pouch. doesn't matter too much, just so you're aware of that. All right, so this is a great context picture because it shows us how this bag would actually be worn. And so this is going to be a shoulder bag. It's going to go across the chest. This would likely be worn as, even though it would be made by a woman, it would be worn by a man. And this is part of a ceremonial object. So it's not really for just carrying your stuff. It is part of a costume. That is its intention, is to be part of a costume. The glass beads were a innovative object for the Lenape Eastern Woodlands people group, because up to this point they had actually been using porcupine quills that they curved up really, really, really small and made those into beads. And so this is going to be kind of an updated version of a traditional design. Prairie style is referring to as these group of people are moving across westward, right, into the upper Midwest across the United States, thinking about the prairies. And so the style of art and objects that they're developing at the time, we could just call that prairie style. So some indications of prairie style, a lot of floral forms, the glass beads and ribbon, which are going to be manufactured, putting those in with natural organic objects like the leather, right? Bandolier bags oftentimes are going to indicate social status, right? Again, remember, they are part of a costume. They're part of an entire object. Now, the other place that we've heard prairie style is oftentimes a title or style associated with Frank Lloyd Wright. So please don't get confused. This is nothing to do with American modernism. It just happens to have the same word. One of the things that I think is interesting is this style of bag has actually become kind of more popular, been revisited by some artists, some designers who are indigenous, and they're looking back to their ancestors and they're seeing that design, and they're bringing it back in a more functional, less ceremonial way. And so this kind of new approach to that material is interesting. So this is an artist in Brooklyn who is indigenous, and she is kind of revisiting that idea. Oh, another theme. So I would say converging cultures for sure, because we're talking about an object that is indigenous, but also has the manufactured beads and ribbon. And then I would definitely say power and authority, because again, this is an object that is going to be ceremonial, in ceremony, because it's going to indicate someone's importance.